Is it time to panic? Niners lost to a team that was 2-3. And not only a team that was 2-3, but they were starting their third string quarterback who had been on their practice squad. And they were starting, their backup running backs. Like they had their own issues. They were coming
Yeah.
off a
There's no excuses for that loss yesterday. They should have won. Is there a reason to panic? I'm going to say no. There's not. It's one game. It's against a tough defense, a really good defense, particularly against the pass. Losing can actually I know this sounds weird, but losing can actually benefit you. You can learn a lot from losing. A little humility. I feel like they were a little like high on themselves. This kind of humbles them and lets them know this is the NFL. You can lose to anybody any single week. Shout out to my wife bringing in the bang right now, right on time. Thank you. But yeah, no, I think they should sponsor me. But no, I mean, there's benefits from losing. Like I was a basketball coach, and then there's actually like a little bit of extra pressure when you're undefeated.
Mhm.
And when you finally get that loss, it is a little bit of a relief, believe it or not. I know it sounds weird. It would be great to go 17-0, go through the 21-0, but it's not as realistic. When you get that first loss, you feel a little bit of a relief, like, okay, now we got that out of the way. Now we can just focus on game to game. And so maybe in the long run, it's a good thing. Maybe they can learn from this, but I don't think it's a reason to panic. Not one game.
No, and I think you could see like they were getting way too confident. If there's one issue I have with this team, it's been really good, but I feel like they've got a lot of times they get really into themselves. Like really, like border arrogant. Like they already won it.
Yeah.
Like it's a fait accompli that they're gonna win the Super Bowl, that they should have won the Super Bowl, that they're the best team and they deserve some type of medal for being the best team. And it's like, that's why you lose every year. You
Yeah.
have this run where everyone says, man, the Niners, they're just so much better than everyone else. You believe it. You have this big cathartic blowout win over Dallas and do this. This is what you do from Kyle. And I feel like Kyle sets the tone because Kyle keeps saying, like, we're the best team. He's so confident, bordering on arrogant. The whole team believes it. And they just kind of waltz into Cleveland like Cleveland's a bunch of punks, not realizing that Cleveland actually has the best defense in the league. And Cleveland's just as physical as the 49ers. And you start a fight with them before the game, like, man, that's careless.
It is
careless. So now you really want their A game. Cool, because you didn't bring yours. And so, yeah, you should have beat the Browns because you're better than the Browns. But you know what? You didn't. That's an L.
The Browns beat the 49ers in every way. Total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, yards per play, first downs. Third down efficiency was essentially the same. Fourth down efficiency, they beat them. Total plays, they beat them. Sacks allowed. Penalties, they're both bad. Fumbles lost, interceptions, time of possession. They beat them in every way. It wasn't just this or just that. They beat them in every way with PJ Walker in the back. I had a pinned tweet. It was Deebo Samuel he was mic'd up and he's like, Niners look real good right now. He sounded like Grover from Sesame Street, and he kept repeating, Niners look real good right now. And I had to unpin the tweet because, damn it, you just lost to the Browns, man.
Yep.
So I think it could be, honestly, in the long grand scheme of things, it could be a good thing that they lost. But I'm not panicked that on the overall season, maybe this is a good thing they lost right now.
When you were going over about how the Browns beat them in every way, I could hear someone saying, yeah, but the Niners were a 41-yard field goal away from winning. And so that to me brings back the panic to Moody. Like he didn't make that kick. It's a 41-yarder. It's easy. It seemed like clearly the pressure got to him. They iced him. He didn't know what to do with it. I think that's a big reason to panic because there's no guarantee that Moody's got it. Like he could kick a ball great, but is he actually ready emotionally for this? And I don't know. It doesn't look like it right now. And unless they can get Robbie Gold back, then they got a big problem at a very important position that they tried to get cued at.
I think the only
reason to panic right now.
It's a big concern for me, and I think we're going to talk about the concerns, and that's one of them for me. But it's week 6, so I'm not going to panic just yet because what if he turns it all around rest of the season? He's fine. That's a possibility. But if this continues, then yeah, my panic meter is going to go up and up and up.
Ethan M says Jalen Hurts throws 3 INTs and still is the MVP race, and Brock isn't because of one game with 1 INT. Who said Jalen Hurts still in the MVP race? How many games did Brady win off a field goal and get praise? You know who's probably leading that MVP? Tua got a good chance. Tua.
Yeah. I think Brock and CMC have kind of fallen out of that race the last couple of weeks. We'll talk about that more. But here's the thing: not all interceptions are created equal. Like, did you guys watch the Eagles game? I think one of them was on Jalen Hurts. So, I mean, don't just be a box stats guy, right? Like, watch the games. Jalen Hurts, 2 of those interceptions really weren't his fault.
Yeah. Yeah. So other people that could like dark horses to win the award. Goff.
Oh snap! That would be crazy. If the Goff wins
Goff.
the MVP, he's doing great.
Rolling, man.
So there's,
I mean, as long as Brock Purdy's in the running, like, is Goff not? They're both 5-1.
Should be.
I'm just saying, it's early. It's early.
So it's the Niners, the Eagles, the Lions, 5-1 in the NFC, and it's the Chiefs and the Dolphins in the AFC, 5-1. Those are the 5 teams that are 5-1 right now. And
Tua's got to be the favorite right now, but Mahomes could pass him.
Yeah, and really it should probably be Tyreek Hill who gets it, but he won't. Yeah.
He's going to be the offensive player of the year. Probably not Christian McCaffrey. Sorry, Christian. Ethan M. Jalen. Oh, got you. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten. Still, to me, Brock passed the test, played horrible, but came through in the 2-minute. Okay. All right. I can see that. James. I don't know.
What if there wasn't that holding penalty on Juwan Jennings? That throw looked off regardless to me. Yeah. And if he didn't get that holding penalty on Juwan Jennings, yeah, he got a second chance. I mean, it shouldn't have been that close. There's a lot that factors into it, but they should have been up by at least 7 points, and they weren't because of Brock plus the turnover. So I don't know how I would. He had 125 yards, guys. Yeah. He was 44% or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's passing the test.
No. James says we all want Robbie back, but it wasn't Wisnowski kicking field goals for us last year as well. Robbie gets hurt too.
I don't know about kickers getting hurt. I don't think that's a huge concern.
Zane Gonzalez bringing back. Dazza says the Niners gave up 160 yards rushing. Was that purely because Dre was out? What does it say about our D then that Dre needs to be there to stop the run? Well, in the past, when he'd be out, they had Azeez Al-Shaair, who's also really good. But now he's gone, and like Oren Burks and Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, to me, are special teams players. They are not quality linebackers. And Fred Warner, to me, is a really big safety. That's kind of how I think of him. Great player, phenomenal in coverage, but he's not like a tone-setting, enforcing, hard-hitting linebacker. He kind of jumps on your back and wrestles you to the ground. Dre Greenlaw hurts you in ways that Warner doesn't. He's everything the Niners wanted Reuben Foster to be is what Dre Greenlaw is. That guy was vicious in the SEC, and he plays like that in the NFL. He's much more downhill than Fred Warner.
The 49ers rely on their linebackers for run defense more than a lot of teams, right? On the D-line, Hargrave's not a really good run stopper. I mean, maybe Armstead's probably your best run stopper on the D-line. Outside of that, it's Greenlaw and Warner. And when Greenlaw's out, he's the best run stopper on the 49ers. And when he's out, you can tell the difference. Plus, I think this Browns offense, that's just how they wanted to attack these Niners, man. They just ran the ball down their throats.
Certainly. Tony Nagatani says, got to let the rookie kicker take his lumps and keep going. He'll get better. Why does Jim Schwartz have Kyle's number? Also, DeJuan Jones, Cam Latu. I'm going to explain the Jim Schwartz thing in a minute. We're going to get there. Ethan M., what's the story for Brock if Moody makes it? That he was clutch. He did enough to win. The Jimmy Garoppolo story. But that he still played poorly. Salim Ingram says, disappointing loss, but at least Randy Gregory is looking like a real steal. Do you think this pass rush could finally take off again? Yes. I think Randy Gregory, he only played like 30% of the snaps. That should double.
No.
Diz a Scrap says, where do you rank John Lynch among current GMs? Up there.
He's second.
He's not good in the first round.
I think he's second.
Don't let him ever pick and round. Up there. Yeah. Gio Dude says, Moody might be okay. Depends on how he feels that day. Okay, we'll ask him. Keith Murphy says, it's not Tua, it's Hill for MVP. Yep, okay. Bill Kennedy says, I predicted that Moody would lose Niners 3 games. Robbie Gould would have made that kick. Yeah, he would have. So that's 1 game. CJ says 30 seconds and 1 timeout left. That's an eternity at the end of the game. Shaney got scared and should have kept trust in that final drive. We'll bounce back. We needed this. A bit of Crow is healthy. He did get scared. You blink. Rob Watson says Brock played as well as he could, considering Tomlinson kept hitting him over the head with Burford's motionless body. That's messed up. Why didn't you go to Cleveland? Because I'm trying to save some money, man. How about that?
Cleveland.
It's really expensive.
And it's Cleveland.
Dazza says if the I'm not going to Minneapolis either. I'm trying to save some money. It's a long season. Dazza 0187 says if the Rusty is an issue, is it worth inquiring about DJ Jones? Broncos are dumping players. Nah, DJ Jones wouldn't play here. They need linebackers. They need more depth at linebacker. They got really good depth on the D line. Javon Kinlaw's playing well. They need depth other places.